warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I'm just aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens? We're moving to D.C. today.
You need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death. Bloody.
Every time I survived the war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. Look, we're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go, 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 go!
God bless America.
There's one thing for sure.
19 states have seceded.
It's like it. There's one thing for sure. This place ain't indivisible. America, aka Babylon the Great, and empires. Oh, excuse me. There's two things that are certain. Empires fall, like I said in the trailer, and this place is not indivisible. Shalom. All glorification, honor, and praise is due unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the venerable apostles at the great millstone, along with the bishops and elders who rule well, and salutations to the elect of Yashar Allah, the Bayat Shah Dawadah, the house of David. I'm Shamar Moth, and you saw the trailer for Civil War, which comes out in the spring of 2024. And like I said in the trailer, or like I said, right after the trailer, this place ain't indivisible. This place is full of division, and empires fall. Okay, and we're witnessing the downfall of the greatest, most wicked kingdom ever to be raised up in this earth, by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because ultimately, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is the one who raised up America, just as he raised up Pharaoh in ancient Egypt. All right, and he's getting ready to tear this place down, man. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Well, let's go to Mark 3. Talk about the division. This place is division, and there is it's like this kingdom is divided, and there is going to be a civil war here. There is going to be a civil war here. There is. Okay, it's biblical prophecy. All right, and it is going to be, along political lines. You're going to have militias out here going up against the government, and you're going to have gang warfare. You're going to have the cartels out here. You're going to have it's going to be Jacob and Esau, which Jacob is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, Esau being the so-called white man. It's going to be all kind of war out here. This place is getting ready to split apart. Okay? But this is the book of Mark, chapter 3. In verse 23, it says, "And he called them unto him, speaking about Yahushua, and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself," verse 24, "that kingdom cannot stand." All right, so America cannot stand. That's impossible. Okay, it says, "And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand." All right, and Esau is divided against himself, Satan. All right, Esau is the physical representation of the spiritual demon Satan. All right, they are the children of the wicked. It says, again in verse 25, "And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided," verse 26, "he cannot stand, but hath an end." That's right. And this place has an end. Okay? This place has an end, and it's going to ultimately be taken out with thermonuclear missiles. All right? The ICBMs. Okay? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6, and it reads, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled." So these things don't trouble us. As a matter of fact, we actually enjoy this, even though we know we have to walk through the straight gate, and we know we're going to, experience, these perilous times as well. Okay, but at the end of the day, we have a strong tower to run into. All right, which is what? The name of the Lord. Right, Nate? Right, IUIC? All right, we have a strong tower to run into. The name of the Lord. Proverbs 18:10. "The name of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe." That promise, all right, is to the elect lambs. Okay? The elect of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, and the speckled birds, Israelite foreigners, who are the Lord's chosen people. Okay? So there will be safety, all right, for the elect throughout all this strife and chaos, okay, and warfare. All right? "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Right? It says, verse 7, "For nation shall rise against nation." And when you go into that word for nation right there, it's going into ethnos, okay? In other words, nationality versus nationality. Again, it's going to be along, the war itself is going to be along political lines, but it's also going to be along racial lines, obviously, okay? And kingdom against kingdom. It says, "And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." See, we're coming into a time, hold on, verse 8, "All these are the beginning of sorrow." See, we're coming into a time, okay, where even though you Americans, okay, you Babylonians, can't see it, we're coming into a time where the only thing you're going to be concerned about, all right, is surviving. Okay? All your petty cares and problems and troubles and dreams and hopes and aspirations, they're going to be out the window. You're just going to be trying to fucking survive out here, man. You're just going to be trying to eat. You're just going to be trying to make it to the next day. Okay, no more going out and getting your nails done. No more, going out and partying and living it up and fucking around and folly. Okay? You can't see it because it's not happening outside your doorstep right now, but it's coming. It's happening in other places in the earth, Syria, the so-called Israeli state, Ukraine, and other areas of the earth as well. Iraq. Okay, Afghanistan, those people have been experiencing, warfare and strife and chaos and trouble for years and years and years now. That's coming to America. You people aren't ready, man. You aren't prepared. Because, and I'm talking about, the 2/3, the unbelievers, the house of Saul. You ain't ready for what's coming, man. You ain't ready for Jacob's trouble. All right? And your leaders have failed you. Okay, your parents have failed you, your leaders have failed you, so-called leaders. All right? Because your real leaders are the apostles of Great Millstone, whether you want to receive that or not. Your leaders have failed you, your pastors, so-called pastors, And politicians, they failed you. All right? And Esau's getting ready to make a move, and again, you have the militias out here. They're going to be activated. All right? But the government is at some point, Esau is going to declare martial law. Now he might do it he might use or he might come down with it, because of some kind of an outbreak, all right? But ultimately, there will be military martial law declared. Okay. And we already went through a form of martial law in 2020, medical martial law. So Esau is preparing that sword, man, and he's been doing so for a long time. While the government's been making moves, these militias have been making moves. All right? But anyways, this is Ezekiel chapter 21 in verse 8. Again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, say a sword is sharpened, and and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. Right. All right. He's sharpening that sword. The camps are ready. Them sea camps, whatever you want to call them. The detention centers, they're ready. FEMA. Camp FEMA. All right. It's all ready. Okay. And who's the Lord's sword? King David and Malak Dawadah said that the wicked is thy sword. All right, the wicked being Esau. That's Psalms. What is that? Psalm 17. Hold on, let me hold Ezekiel's. I'll come back to it. This is the book of Psalms. Chapter 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down. And that's what the Lord's getting ready to do, is to cast him down, Esau. All right, remove him out of the power seat. All right, he's fixing to be cast down. It said, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Right. So Esau is the sword of the Lord. He's sharpening up that sword. Okay? And he's getting ready to draw it out and come after you, man. All right? He's getting ready to draw it out and come after you. First and foremost, speaking to you Israelites first and foremost. 2/3 of you anyway. Verse 11. And he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished, to give it into the hand of the slayer. Right. Man, Esau is the slayer, man. And he's going to slay millions upon millions of you Jakes out here during the time of Jacob's trouble, which we're in. All right? More predictive programming, from the elites. All right, from them international banking families who know the scriptures. They know the scriptures. It's you 2/3 who are ignorant of this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Who are ignorant of these prophecies. All right? But the rulers of this world, okay, the chief captains and princes, okay, of this world, they have the records, and they know Yahushua is coming back, and they know this is part of prophecy, all right? And they know what they're fixing to do, Let's see. Let's go to Isaiah. This is very impromptu. I saw the trailer. And, of course, a bunch of precepts started popping off in my mind, So let's bring them out. This is the book of Isaiah talking about civil war, right? Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1, the burden of Egypt. All right, the Egypt that's being spoken of by the prophet is not ancient Egypt. All right, Isaiah wasn't on the scene during that time. So this Egypt that's being spoken of is America. Okay, Egypt is code for America. All right, Assyria is code for America. Babylon is code for America. Bozrah is code for America. Idumea, etc. Okay, Sodom. All right, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. How is the Lord going to come into Egypt if the Lord sits on his throne? All right, he's coming through his only begotten son. Yahweh Shai is the one coming on that cloud, that chariot. Okay? And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And we always go into these things, but maybe for some of you newer listeners and newer believers, all right, when you see the word heart in the Hebrew, that's la'av, it means your mind. The Lord deals with men in the mind, okay? So you people are going to be losing your fucking minds out here. It says, and I will set the Egyptians, plural, verse 2, against the Egyptians, right? Civil war, okay? And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. In the trailer, you heard, the forces of California and Texas, right? City against city, right? And kingdom against kingdom. See, certain parts of this so-called country, okay, are going to be fighting other parts of the country. They mentioned Florida too. All right? So literally, you're going to have cities fighting against one another. Okay, it's going to be chaos, man. Now, do we know exactly how this is all going to play out and all the minute details? No, we do not. Okay, but we can see these things coming, and we can envision them through the Spirit. Okay, is it going to be just like this war that's coming out, in the springtime of 2024? No. All right, but this will give you an idea. Okay. Verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. But the point, is in verse 2, Egyptian versus Egyptian. Okay. American versus American. All right. Democrat versus Republican. All right. and so on. Okay. Jacob versus Esau. All Bible prophecy, man. Civil war. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, right? Militias rising up, certain states, breaking away from the federal government, breaking away from Washington, D.C., breaking away from the Union. Okay? That's sedition, man. All right, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, they're going to do what they want to do when they want to do it. Okay? Nobody's going to be listening to the president. Nobody's going to be listening to the governors. Nobody's going to be listening to the mayors and, to the, to the people who were in power here. Those days are over, man. And when the dust settles, just make this point too. When the dust settles, okay, because they're going to bring about what? Order out of chaos. When the dust settles, they're going to do what? Okay, they're gonna push that micro CHIP on the people. Okay, that micro CHIP, which is the MOTB, Revelation chapter 13. All right, in verse 16. All right, back to 2nd Ezra 15. This is verse 17. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. There's your martial law. Okay? For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. All right, so whole cities are going to be troubled out here, man. Especially, New York, L.A., Chicago, Dallas, the big metropolitan areas, those places are going to be death traps. Okay? It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, verse 19, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay? Staying in 2nd Ezra, going to chapter 13. Again, we're talking about civil war. 2nd Ezra chapter 13. And this is verse 31. Salakia. Couldn't find it. Verse 31. 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another. One city against another. Right? One city against another. One place against another. One people against another. And one realm against another. Yeah, man. Civil war. The scriptures lays it all out, man. All right. But again, 2/3 of our people are walking in gross darkness, okay, and have no use for the Holy Bible. Have no use for the prophets. Ultimately, have no use for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, even teachers, all right, who know they're Israelites, who have been teaching for years, who call themselves elders, they're not going into these things. They're not breaking these things down. They're not warning their congregations to flee the wrath that's coming. All right? Staying in 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 24, getting right to the point. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Right? Civil war, man. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Right, that's going into, you know, you're not going to have, you know, basic services out here aren't going to be provided during this time. You know, water, power, you know, etc. When you're in a spot, you're not going to be able to call 911. It's all part of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? Verse 25. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. All right? That's talking about the elect lambs beginning with the 144,000. All right? Because the elect are going to escape all these things. They're going to escape all these perils. Okay? And see salvation, man. Be beamed up into the ships, into the chariots. Okay? And witness the end of this place, man. Verse 26, and the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out, verse 27, and deceit shall be quenched. Right. And this is already taking place, man. All right. Deceit is being quenched. All right. Verse 28, as for faith it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And we're in those times right now, man, with the truth being declared. All right. Beginning, you know, with the elder apostle, Great Millstone, who have been bringing it out, you know, for 3.5 decades on the highways and hedges throughout the four corners of the earth, the men of the Lord doing the same. Okay. So these are the times we're in, man. So if you're one of the Lord's people and you haven't done so already, you got to repent. You got to come back to the Lord. You know, and daily we repent, but you got to come back and you know, turn your faces from your, you know, your idols and all your abominations. You know, get right with the Lord. You know, because this is going to come to pass. All right, you can take it to the bank. This will happen. All right. Are we putting a date on it? Nope. But you can, you know, these words, as the scripture says back in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, these words are faithful and true. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, you was edified through the Spirit. With that, I want to say shalom. It's on to the next video.